Google implement leisure to increase productivity. Okay, so the sequence will be I will talk about 10-15 minutes about some background, and then Saranee will talk about what's happening at Google Thailand, and then I'll come back and wrap it up on other researchers, and then if you have any Q&A, so please do so. Okay, this session is not going to be purely academic session like the yesterday session. It's going to be more like academic plus practical side. So some of you might wonder, why business school? Okay, because a lot of people asked me yesterday, why we co-host of this conference too? Why is Effective Commerce and Accountancy, why is Chulalongkorn Business School co-host of this conference? Well, in talking to Ajahn Suchitra, who's the director of the language at the Thai Institute, and both of us agree that leisure is not just about travel, it's not just about tourism, it's not just about art or culture, but we can help it to use to improve productivity within an organization. Especially for my field, we've been studying about leadership, about management, about innovation. So how can we use leisure to increase this stuff? Or the main question is that, where do the big ideas come from? If you ask yourself, when will the aha moment, the big idea comes from? When you're busy working all around it, or when you're sitting, laying back, taking a shower, or just wake up, or watching cartoons, or reading some novels. So the question is that, when will these big ideas come from? Okay, so and if you go through all the other management research, all the management literature, you will find that most of the big ideas moment normally comes from when you're taking a rest, when you're staying, taking a shower, when you're reading books, when you're not working. So we found that the aha moment, right? The aha moment, where will the aha moments come from? So there's a book called Why to Create. It done research and found that about 72% of people answer that they came up with new ideas when taking a shower or bath. Is it true? Yes. Yes. Okay, me too. Normally it's in a shower or bath. For me, myself, it's a shower. Okay, after taking a shower, I always come up with something new, coming up with some solution. Okay. Yesterday, I talked with the Vice President of Chulalongkorn University, and he also mentioned that he always come up with an idea after taking a shower. His wife always has to prepare a pen and a notepad for him to write after he finishes taking a shower. Okay, so from the management research, from management literatures, it seems that if we want to increase our creativity, if we want to increase our productivity, it doesn't have to be done while we're working, but it can be done while we're taking a rest, while we're doing some leisure stuff. Okay, so now the question is that, what's the relationship? What's the relationship between leisure and productivity? Does leisure lead to productivity or vice versa? Okay, going through some research, it's found that right now we have to focus on both ideas. We're living in a world where there's a relentless focus on improving productivity. Okay, that's one thing for true. But the other part is that the very presence of leisure time and breaks from work enable us to continue to stay relevant and productive. Okay, so it's not like working until you die, or working until you have a surgery, or working until you find your life misery. Okay, so the question is that, how can we balance between productivity and leisure? There's some literature, management literature, that focusing on productivity and leisure. This is what the meanings of productivity and meanings of leisure. So can it be a new buzzword? Productive leisure. Can we combine between the two ideas? Right? Because the management ideas right now is that we like to combine stuff. Okay, we like to combine the word together. Okay, so it might be something like productive leisure. You combine between productivity, at the same time you combine it with leisure. Okay. Now, I were to talk about before passing on to Kun Saranee. The first one is taking a break from work. Been digging through some management literature and found that there's some research that tries to emphasize that how can taking a break from work increase your productivity. Economists have found that our workplace reward employees by how long they sit at the desk in the office, not what they do. Is that true? Because your boss always says that you have to work hard, you have to sit at the desk all the time. You cannot just sitting and daydreaming at the desk. So right now the problem with our system is that we kind of reward people with busyness. Right? With busyness. You have to always look busy if you want to advance in your career. You cannot just sit in your desk, sit on your desk and then look out of the windows, and people will always assume that you're not working. So that's the problem that we're having right now. So currently leisure is seen as an unproductive at best or waste of time at worst. And if you look at the assumption or the behavior or the cultures of several countries, for example, in the US, workers in the US has given up among the most vacation days. US is the only advanced economy with no national vacation policy. Other countries, they have what they call national vacation policies. You have to take at least 30 days of vacation, 31 days of vacation. In South Korea, I just read from the Wall Street Journal, overworked Koreans are checking themselves into a prison-like meditation. It's a kind of retreat. You go into this prison, you cut off yourself from everybody, from the cell phone, from the notebook, from your internet, and you stay in this small cell with just only a toilet and a bed, but you're able to do some meditation, you're able to do some thinking by yourself. Or even what happened in Japan, we all know that the Karoshi effect. People work until they die. So what's happening right now is that people tend to work, and overwork. But at the same time, there are some countries, for example, Norway, Ireland, Denmark, or France, their GDP per hours are much higher than in the USA. But these countries, they have some type of policies that allows their people to take vacation. For example, 30 days of paid vacation every year, the cafe culture, generous paid family leave policies, short work hours mandated by law. So there's a lot of, for these countries, Norway, Ireland, Denmark, and France, there's regulations, there's law that you don't have to work until you die. And if you look at the history, if you look back at the history, for example, Leonardo da Vinci, while he was working on the Last Supper, Da Vinci took some break, some time off, and then his partner said he has to work more continuously. What was quoted by Da Vinci is that the greatest genius sometimes accomplish more than they work less. So if they work less, they will accomplish more. I'm not sure this is true or not, but this is something that was quoted and referred in several books. Or even the philosopher, Bernard Russell. Sometimes they say that the greatest ideas that we have often came up when we stopped looking for them. Right? Like when we're taking a shower. If we stop looking for them, if we take ourselves out from the work, sometimes we come up with a good idea. Another philosopher, Joseph Fiber, one of them, Russell and Fiber, thought that it's the moment of leisure that civilization gets created. It's not when you work, but it's when you're taking a break, when you're taking a vacation, when you're goofing around. Right? So there's a lot of quote from ancient history, starting from Da Vinci, right, until some philosophers, Bernard Russell, or even Joseph Fiber, that all argues that you have to take a break. Leisure sometimes is more important than working. So the question is that right now, do we as a worker, also another research by Erickson. It's from Florida State University. He conducted a study in Berlin and found that the amount of time successful musicians spend practicing each day was only 90 minutes per day. Okay? Most successful musicians not only practice less, but they also took more naps throughout the day. So it's like if you want to be successful, if you want to be good, you have to take more naps. Is that true? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay? Or even if you look back into history, Henry Ford. Henry Ford is the founder of modern production system, the T model, the mass production. But he's the person who cut the amount or number of works per week from 48 hours down to 40 hours. So he also sees some importance in taking a break, not working all the time. And there's theory that the relationship between the quality of work and the length of work is come out a slope like this. The more time you work, the quality of the work goes down. So there must be a balance between the quality and the length of your work. Okay. Research shows that inspirational strike when we take breaks. Okay. Neuroscientists also found that when the idle our minds are more active and connect parts of the brain that don't typically communicate. So we actually think more innovatively in this moment. So there's a benefit of a break. There's a benefit of taking a break. There's a benefit of goofing around. There's a benefit of playing around. Okay? These benefits can say managing our stress, be more creative, remain healthy, and also ability to improve your focus. Okay? So this is the background of the relationship between leisure and productivity. Now, before we go on to more theory, let's look at some practical experience, especially for Google. Okay, so Saranee is gonna show you some examples about what's happening at Google, and then I'll come back to you later.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Saranee, and thank you, Pasu, for inviting me here. So I worked at Google as the head of SMB and search marketing, and I will be talking to you about what we're doing at Google. So very, very humble and honored to be here. So before I start, maybe let me share with you a little bit of a video around pretty much the topic, the leisure and productivity at Google.
Got a knot in your back? Schedule a massage. Looking for inspiration? Attend a talk with a world leader.
Starts with an open internet.
And pop icon.
But the most important thing I think with creativity is that you honor your creativity.
Free gourmet meals and shuttle rides aren't unheard of in Silicon Valley. But why does Google go above and beyond? Now that I've been spending a little bit of time here at the Googleplex, soaking up the corporate culture, chatting with Googlers, I'm starting to pick up on a trend. See if you could spot it.
We are constantly looking to figure out, any type of program that will make Googlers happier, healthier, and more productive.
They can collaborate and they can do the work in the most productive manner.
We are, at the forefront of making people decisions and figuring out how to have a really productive workforce.
Be more productive.
And super productive.
In the last 14 years, Google has gone from 2 employees to over 32,000, making it tough to preserve its nimble and industrious startup days. To recapture that vibe, Google hires people analysts, like Jessica Wisdom.
We want to make them healthy and we want to make them happy. And the ultimate goal is, of course, to keep them here, to keep them, engaged in their work. And research does show that when people are happy, they're more engaged in their work and more productive.
But Google doesn't subscribe to typical HR philosophies. This is the company whose data mining strategies created a multi-billion-dollar business. Google knew providing free, flavorful meals on campus would keep workers from straying too far from their desks. But it didn't just hire a chef and tell them to get cooking. It ran experiments, collected results, and analyzed them to carefully craft a healthy and appetizing menu. It goes beyond cafes. When Google opens new office space, it uses practically every methodology in the book.
We have a passion for collecting the right data, analyzing it, and implementing it to new design.
So, when I look at this video, I think it's very true that everything that Google does is actually very, very deliberate. They actually studies a lot, understanding the data, that how to make people be the most productive of themselves. They need to provide the right environment, both hardware and software. And I'll talk about it a little more. Let me start a little in terms of our founder, because they actually are the one who started this philosophy. So we actually started this company in 1998 with Larry Page and Sergey in the garage. They met in Stanford doing the dissertation together, and then they found Google. Back then there was 2 people, but right now, this is a number from last year, we have over 60,000 people around the world, 100 offices, and in terms of their revenue and growth is quite tremendous. The one thing that has not changed from day one though is Google mission. So the mission of Google is basically organize the world information and make it useful and accessible for everyone. So that was the philosophy from day one, and that's resulted in a couple of these products that more than 1 billion people worldwide use. And this product is all about organizing the world information. Google, reorganizing information, maps, organizing maps, YouTube, organizing the video, etc. And let me go on quickly. The one thing that our founder came up with is we need to make sure that as we work at Google, we're not thinking about working in an incrementalism, but we're thinking in terms of revolutionary, not evolutionary. And how do we do that? So there are a couple of principles that Google has, and people is part of very important things that Google really, really care about. These are just a couple of principles that I took on for this session, but there's actually much more. But I'll start with number 1. I think the number 1 is also a foundation of everything, which is believing in your slogan. In 2004, when our founder issued the first IPO letter, when we went IPO, the first sentence that they put it in the letter is, Google is not a conventional company, and we not intend to be one. I think that's a very, very powerful statement, because when you're a small company, you can be nimble. You can basically hire a couple of great people, but when you're becoming 60,000, how do you make sure you always hire the right people? You always keep the culture of being unconventional. So that's coming to the second part, which is you have to hire and inspire. Basically, what Google believed, and this is coming from Larry and Sergey themselves, they said that yes, you need to get smart people, but how do you really get smart people? It's a job of the company, it's a job of everyone to make sure that Google has a creative fostering environment. And the creative fostering environment is basically what we talk about here, in terms of we have an environment that makes people happy, have work-life balance, have leisure, so you can increase happiness and productivity of people. So I'll show you a couple of pictures. This is Google in Thailand. So this is very close to where I sit, so people can sit anywhere and work. There's a lot of freedom. This is Google around the world. You'll see there's a lot of cute stuff. There is a sleep pod where if you're tired, you can go in and sleep and cut yourself out. Maybe you come up with the aha moment. Couple of very fun things to do at Google. So, when your mind is free, the idea came. I think that's very, very true. There's an environment of collaboration, which is, there's a lot of these things where people can just sit together. It doesn't like you go to work, but when you go there, sit with your coworker, people from cross-functional, so you can discuss new idea and it comes out naturally. We just actually opened a new office in Singapore, and I just wanted to share with you what we have in the office in Singapore. As you can see, this is a big investment that a company would do in terms of making the workplace where you want to go to work every day. So of course we have those policy of work from home, that some days that if you need to take care of anything at home, you work from home. But basically we wanted to make office like a home too, which is you're coming in and you don't feel like you're coming to work. If you need to bring the families, you can bring them in. We have two cafes. Well, actually in Thailand office, it's a lot smaller, but we also have two coffee bar in Thailand office where you can go and get coffee anytime. Why do we have this? Like when you go have coffee, you actually bump into your coworker and you start talking. Sometimes you talk about your personal things, which is creating a relationship with your coworker, but sometimes you talk about ideas, and then new ideas comes. And you do it in a non-work environment, because you're doing it in a cafe, in the office. And I think the bright idea actually really comes at that moment. Also, this is Thailand specifically. We don't just have those hardware that you see. We have a lot of activities for the employees as well. So every Wednesday we have a dance class in the evening. Thursday we have a yoga class. Every other week we have a fit club. We have a fun serve, which is a community work that we bring people to do community works of their choice. We have talks whereby we take inspirational people to talk at Google. So these are all the perks and basically what we view as culture of Google's in Thailand. Every Friday we also have some fun activities. Last couple of weeks we have whiskey tasting, and there's also some other tasting for non-alcoholic drinker. This is a picture of us going to, shower and clean elephants together. And those are pretty much what I was talking about, creative fostering environment. Google's really believe that in order to attract great people, in order to maintain them, retain them, these are very important. If the environment that they come to work every day make them happy, and of course the work is meaningful, you can retain people. But it cannot be just one or another. It goes hands in hands. Because it's not just about the result, but it's a process to get there as well, right? Then we talk about freedom. So I guess you see from how we go to work every day that there's a lot of freedom. Meaning you don't have to sit at your workspace. You can sit anywhere. You can work at a cafe. You can potentially go to a ping pong desk, play ping pong, and come back to work. There's a lot of that freedom. And that freedom brings in innovation. So I'll share with you actually two real life example of the products that are coming from those freedom. One of it is Gmail. So Gmail, there's one of our guy in Google who was thinking about we don't really have the email product that's really clean and easy to use in the market. And he was just talking to another engineer in the cafeteria, and they actually on their free time start developing Gmail, and it's not their project from the beginning. The other example that actually more fun is one of the guy, he just watched Academy Award and he saw Jennifer Lopez. And he was like, oh, she wear a very beautiful dress. How can I see her picture again? And he went on Googling it. But he couldn't find Jennifer Lopez in the dress. So he was at a cafeteria again, talking to another engineer that how can we find images easily? So that's becoming image features at Google because of one guy talking about his wish to see Jennifer Lopez. So you see, like, these things cannot happen when you sit at the workplace, probably thinking to yourself, or actually talking to someone that's your friend outside of work. But this is like because you have relationship with people at work, because you have a lot of space where you can be yourself, express, talk about ideas. And it's actually becoming something that's very, very useful and meaningful. This is also another example of when people having freedom, creativity, those aha moments. This is one guy called Amit Sood. He's actually now very high up at Google. He's a director. So he actually started working at Google as a marketing for Google Maps. And he's from India, but he is working at Google in London. And he was able to go to a lot of museums. And in those museums, he sees a lot of beautiful painting, and it feels like it's such a privilege for him to have a chance to see this beautiful work of art. How can he make sure that actually people who's in the developing country like India, like his hometown, will be able to see these things as well? And he's starting this project called Google Culture Institute, where he works with multiple museums in the world, taking picture in a very high definition and organize it online. So anyone can see picture. So this is Starry Night by Van Gogh that was in Google Cultural Institute. The fun thing about this project is that you can zoom in to the picture, see all the brush stroke, the crack and everything, and starting to get into the history of the picture. And this is available for anyone around the world. And this is basically, again, not his project, but he came up with this idea in this free time, and then he talked to another Googler in his free time, and it's become a real project at Google, and it's become a project that is very meaningful for us. So how does everything happen, right? I think you can't just say, oh, because we have free time, so we have a great idea. I think it actually comes down to a very high expectation that a company gives focus on delivering the next 10%, but at Google, we work on delivering 10x. If you wanted to really change things, you cannot go incrementally. You need to leap forward. You need to go 10x. You need to think about one shot. So basically, expectation at Google with the employee is extremely high. With that high expectation in mind, and everyone is a high achiever, we really want to come up with great things, with great ideas. And the freedom just allows you to go there. It's not like you go to work and go to massage and things will come. I think it starts with, we all have the same goal to create something that's bigger than we thought. And you see that actually Google, we started with being a search engine company, but we created a lot of innovations in the world. So the self-driving car, smart contact lens, Project Loon, Google Ocean. The smart contact lens, for example, is people who has diabetes. And usually people with diabetes has to actually measure their sugar in the blood all the time, and it's painful. So one of the employees also has an aunt who has issue with diabetes. And he was talking to another engineer, how do we make the blood measurings painless and seamless? So they came up with a contact lens that basically contacted the tears in your eyes all the time, and it can transfer the sugar levels in your blood to your cell phone on a real-time basis, so you don't have to actually really take the blood. So that's also, again, not this project, but coming from his passion, and then he talks to another Googlers and made this happen. And it's a very 10x thinking that Larry is talking about. So I think I'm going to wrap this part up and hand over back to Ajahn Pasu. But basically, I think this is what makes Google work, which is we have a founder that really believes in the slogan that we're not a conventional company and we're not intend to be one. And because of that, we need to make sure we have the best people, and it's our company job to make sure the environment that we provide to employees works for them, and that's why we give them freedom. And because of all of this, and we have a high expectation to everyone, which is being 10x and everything can happen. Let me pass it back to us.
Okay, thank you very much. And we still have time for Q&A later. Okay, I'm going to do some theoretical thing for about 10 to 15 minutes. Well, after listening to Google, do you want to work at Google? Yes, I think everybody wants to work at Google, right? But not because of the free lunch, the massage, and everything. Fortune magazine every year for more than 10 years, they've been doing a list called the top 100 best companies to work for. In this year, or even the almost past 10 years, which company is number one on the list? Do you think which company is the most, the first number one in the world to best company to work for? Which company do you guess? Google. Yep, it's Google. Google has been on the list like almost 10 years or something like that, right? The number one company, the best companies to work for, especially in the United States or even around the world right now. So this is the top 8 from this year list in 2017 by Fortune. It's Google, it's Vietnam Food, it's Boston Consulting Group, it's Great, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Edward Jones, Genentech, Ultimate Software, and Salesforce. If you go to the Fortune's list, you can see that these top companies, they have what they call the special perks, the special benefits that they provide to the employees. That's not just only salaries or things like that. So I'm trying to just crop or chart some of the perks of some of the companies. For example, actually what I've done is that I synthesize the common perks together. Okay, free snacks, free lunch. You have free lunch at Google? Yeah, free lunch at Google, free snacks, free beverage, massage therapy, discount tickets, hair salon, fitness, Weight Watchers. These are just some of the common perks among the top 8, top 10 companies that has been listed on the Fortune Best Place to Work for. Okay, but some companies have some special stuff. Okay, but these are just the common perks. And from Saranee's presentation, I've been noting down why is Google successful? What was she's been mentioned about? So these are the 4 points that I take note from her presentation. Leisure is not just leading to only productivity, but it leads to happy first. Right? Because I think you mentioned about happy, leisure leading to happy, and then happiness leading to productivity, and then to performance. At the same time, how can we make office like a home? You mentioned that Google wants to make people feel that they're at their home. You can enjoy, you love being at home, you feel comfy, you feel good being at home. Freedoms bring innovation. You emphasize this sentence several times. But it's not just only freedom or free time, but with high expectation. So this is just some kind of summarize from your presentation, linking to our topic. So it's not just you provide leisure, you provide free snacks, you provide free lunch, you provide some Thai club, culture club, and then it will always lead to high productivity and high performance. You must have other elements too. In the case of Google, high expectation, common goals, strong mission, the culture is there. Okay, so it's kind of sum up what Saranee mentioned during the presentation. Now, we can see that if we are able to make our employees happy, it will lead to better performance. Right, in the case of Google. Now the question is that how can we make our employees happy? By providing leisure time, by providing more snacks, by providing whatever. But for us as an individual, how can we make ourselves more productive? The question is not just a company, because we're not Larry or Sergey that we own the company, but as an individual, how can we increase our own productivities by trying to combine the concept of leisure and productivities? One thing is through small breaks. Just imagine about yourself. Do you normally take a small breaks when you work? How long? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're sitting on your desk for 2 hours and then you take a break, or you're sitting on the desk for 15 minutes and you take a break. There's been some researches, okay, I just quote some research back here. Ideas, innovation, or aha moments comes in calm, relaxed state when we are doing anything but work. Right? This is, as we mentioned before, neuroscience found that when we are idle, in leisure, our brains are more active, are the most active. The secret of being an effective worker is not working too hard. Okay? There's a research from NUS found that those who spend less than 20% of the time pursuing the internet were 9% more productive. So if you're just goofing around the internet, looking at several websites, sometimes you'll be more productive. So take a break, stay doing something but not work. Okay? Studies also found that short bursts of intention, punctuated with equal deliberate breaks, are the surest way to harness our full capacities. So for us, as an individual, you have to work hard and then take a break. Work hard and then take a break. Even there's a study in universities, faculties are more productive when they work in brief stints rather than all-consuming marathon session. So we should take a break now. Right? Short breaks allow people to maintain the focus on a task without the loss of quality. Small breaks improve concentration, long breaks diminish job performance. So it has to be a short break. Absence of proper lunch break can achieve low productivity. Okay? And last but not least is that there's been a research that if you work for 52 minutes, the best time to take a break is for 70 minutes. Okay. So in order to improve our productivity, you can try this method. Work for 52 minutes and then take a break for 70 minutes and come back and work for another 52 minutes. Okay. This is a research done by one of the applications that counts on the time of people working. Okay. Now, it's not just only taking a short breaks, even vacation. Recently, there has been a research shows that high-performance employees take more vacation time. Just imagine yourself. Last year, how many days have you take for vacation? Okay, a study about 100,000 employees found that high performance take about 90 days of paid time off a year. Are you able to take like 90 days off on a vacation per year? And recently, there's even a concept of vacation or even digital nomads. Right? I think this ran easily or nicely with the concept of leisures. Workcation is a combination between work and vacation. You work while you're at your vacation. You take a vacation while you work. So instead of work and then take a vacation, you go out to the beach for 1 month, for 2 months or whatever, and then you're able to accomplish your work. And then take a rest, and then look at the sea, and then do your work or whatever. This is the concept of workation. Besides workation, we have been recently heard about the concept of digital nomads. Digital nomads are people choosing to live on a nomadic life. They travel around the world, they just need a Wi-Fi, internet, cafe, and then they work and then they travel. So it seems that the trend right now of people in the new millennium is that trying to combine between leisure and work. Even one of the latest example is how can we combine between gamification. I think most people have heard about the concept of gamification. How can we put game into work? While we're working, we're also playing. A lot of organizations right now has tried to re-engage employees and increase productivity at work by using game-based motivation. Okay, competitions, performance reward, things like that. And providing game elements to ordinary work. There's a lot of applications you can use. It increases engagement, it increases productivity. So instead of just working day on, day off, you play game while you work. Work is a game. People feel more engaged, people feel more motivated. It leads to more increased productivity. There's a research by Nashville that gamification increased productivities for 90% of workers and boosts awareness of co-workers' goals and tasks for 86%. Because people like to play game, right? I think that a lot of you in this room still play games on your mobile or whatever. So instead of playing game on your leisure time, you're playing game while you work. Your work is a game, and then you earn badge, you earn point. You're the top player. You compete against your competitors. Okay? So gamification increase desire to be at work and engaged. How can we increase integration between gaming and work? It helps increase more inspiration. It helps to focus on tasks. So there's a lot of ways to do. Using game to increase how we go to work, but even using game to increase how we learn stuff. Right now, there's a lot of software, a lot of applications that you can learn by playing game. For example, just download this software by one company called GameLearn. It's a game on negotiation and conflict resolution. You can learn through gamification. Let's take a look at it.
Become a 15th century Venetian merchant and build a maritime trading empire. Travel to ancient Venice and meet Leonardo da Vinci and Machiavelli. Negotiate funding. Hire sailors to help you on your adventures. meet with Genoese diplomats and share shipping lanes, even hold secret negotiations with the Papal States Emissary on invading Florence. How you handle negotiations determines the wealth at your disposal to acquire ships and establish lucrative trade routes. Compete to be the most successful merchant and build the largest palace in Venice. The great Lucio Ricci mentors you throughout this thrilling adventure. His lessons are packed with the content of a comprehensive negotiation course and help you overcome the challenges you'll have to face. Learn negotiation tactics that you can apply in your personal and professional life with the most advanced negotiation simulator in the market. Da Vinci, Machiavelli, and many more await you in Renaissance Venice to help you learn negotiating skills that are vital throughout your life. Are you ready to learn?
Okay, so this is just one example that they use game to increase the skills of the employees, especially for negotiation. Okay, right now a lot of companies, for example, eBay, LinkedIn, PayPal, they use badge, they use reputation points, expert status to motivate users, to motivate employees, to increase, to be more engaged, to be more motivated on what they're doing. For example, there's a badge, there's a point, there's a level, there's a leadership board, there's a challenge, goals, things like in a typical game, right? So things like in a typical game, then you can help to increase what you're doing. So there's a lot of examples. You see that from our presentation, there's a lot of examples that link between leisure and productivity. It's not just sitting back, looking at the crowd, looking at the sky, and increase productivity. But you can use Google as a good example that shows how you can integrate leisure, free time to increase employees' happiness, to increase to productivities. There's also several research that we show that if you're taking a time off, taking a break, sitting still, taking a shower, those are the aha moment. There's also new concepts on workation, working and vacation together. Or even how can you integrate gamification or games into how you work. Okay, so to sum it up, I think there's a good evidence that we can say that if leisures in several ways can help increase employees' productivity. Okay, so right now, any question for me or Saranee? It could be on Google or it could be on something. Do you have any question? I think it's Q&A time.
Maybe I say something about the management issue. As you know, Google model is very popular amongst many executives, many companies trying to apply this, but as far as I haven't faced them, some of them failed because the executive trying to expect more productivity with the slogan that they would set freedom for the employee, but the environment is still the same. So, in this case, I don't know how can we suggest for this?
Okay, I'll answer and if you want to chip in. The question is that a lot of companies try to copy Google's model,
Yeah.
right? But why not all of them success or a lot of them fail? If you ask me from a management perspective, I think it's more like a systematic approach. It's not just copy the model of what Google's doing and then plug it into your company. First of all, it's not just only one part, giving free time. There's a different parts, different part of jigsaws that we have to put together. And then the internal culture is not the same. The approach, the leadership style is not the same. So for me, you have to look at it more of a systematic approach and have to adapt to the internal culture, the leadership style of each companies.
I think also for Google, I actually didn't touch upon hiring so much, but that's part of the system. So I talk about hire and inspire. The hiring process of Google is probably one of the hardest. You have to go through 4 to 10 people in terms of interviewing to hire. And basically it needs to be a consensus among the 10 people that you interview with. So not just like if you're the higher up manager said yes, I want this guy, but one person in the panel said no, you can't get in. So I think from the hiring process, we're trying to assess multiple things. One of the things is you need to be a self-motivated person, and you need to be able to collaborate and have a teamwork. I think if you start with the right people, the right environments to give freedom and leisure works. Now, it's a little bit more difficult when we go into a different company that has different hiring process and has different, mindset of people who are at work. And freedom probably cannot apply to everyone. So I think we need to look at it holistically. I think at Google, the lucky thing that we have is our founder is very visionary from the beginning that we need self-motivating people, and then the freedom environment will make them better. With a different type of employee, there will need to be other system and holistic approach that Ajahn Pasu mentioned to make this work. That's what I think.
Before going to the next question, since you're talking about the hiring process, we heard through the rumors that Google president will hire people quite ridiculous. For example, how many people you can fit in a football field or something. Is that true?
So it used to be true. So we call mind-teasing or mind-bending question in interview a while back. But through also data collecting and research, it found out that it's not the best way, because there's a lot of books and textbooks starting to collect like this, and people can actually study and start to understand how to answer it. But other smart people probably haven't read this book and wasn't able to answer. So we actually changed the whole approach of interview to become more what we call like behavioral, meaning that really dig into what you've done in the past. Why do you make decision the way you made? We're talking a lot about knowledge related question versus this mind-bending question these days.
So there's no mind-teasing question.
No mind-teasing question. But for engineer, it's still a very tough process because you have to be able to do the coding on the whiteboard on the go. So that's not mind-teasing, but I think it's extremely difficult for a person who can code on the whiteboard and like solve problems and solutions like right in there.
Take a mic.
There are many different areas of productivity, and there also have many different labor forms. So that some labor match some productivity. For example, you do some engineer, maybe some activities, for example, a skinny image, the engineer or something like that. I don't know. Have some research about this area. Thank you.
I think your question trying to ask that there's different type of productivities and different types of occupations, different type of leisures. Are there any relationship or anything yet? From my knowledge, I haven't seen any research that, okay, this type of leisure will lead to this type of productivity. Yeah, haven't seen that. Just found the research on, okay, if you're taking more time off, you're goofing around, it will increase productivity. But haven't found any research trying to explain the relationship between type of leisure and type of productivity yet.
So I'd like to ask both of you, especially for Mrs. Saranee, because since I know that you try to blend in the leisure with work, so how do you come up with the measurements of the productivity and measurements of your employees, especially in Thai culture and Thai society? Do you see any change or resistance or any problems come comes when you try to do.
I think Google can elaborate this more because this is the real one. How do you measure performance?
Well, I think Google is extremely result-oriented. So actually, every 6 months there is a performance review, and every 6 months you have to set a goal. That in 6 months, what do you need to achieve, and the next 6 months, what do you want to achieve? So I'm not sure the average performance review of each company, but it's potentially like a year. At Google, it used to be 3 months, but we learned that it's a little bit too short, so we made it 6 months. And the review is very thorough, and it's very number-oriented. So what happens is we need, and the goal is always stretch goal. So I think like in terms of how do we measure result, we have to go back to this goal all the time. I'm not sure if in terms of like the HR department, do they also calculate the level of productivity? But they calculate based on like, does the employee really achieve goal in every 6 months? How many people meet the goal, exceed the goal, getting superb in the goal? But that measurement is very consistent. So I think that's how we really make sure that what we do makes sense. I think from a productivity standpoint, it's coming more from the data that if you make sure that the employees like have free time, let's say like I actually have breakfast and lunch at the office every day. Like I never go out. So in 1 year, I probably go out to have lunch outside, probably twice. And because the food at work is pretty good, and I'm happy that I don't have to walk out. It's hot out there, right? And usually before I worked at Google, I would take around an hour plus for lunch. Now I take half an hour, only because that's all I need to eat at the cafeteria. So I don't think there's a measurement, but I think like I can notice myself that on one day I save a lot of time by just being around the office, and I choose to do that. It's not that the office says you have to eat at the office, but I choose to because I think it's efficient and it's good and it's actually saved my money. So I think like those kind of things, it really helps.
Is there any office hour?
No,
So there's no clock out?
there's no office hour.
So what would be left of the rule and regulations that could really force or at least motivate the employees to work hard to their goals?
So that's the only thing, which is like you're achieving your result, and if you're achieving it, it doesn't matter how. So when I say result-oriented, it means that if you're achieving your goal, even though you're using different methodology, meaning if you only work 5-6 hours a day and you can achieve your goal, then that's fine. So there's going to be no micromanagement, no manager that looks into your desk and says it's 9 o'clock and you're not here. It's 2 p.m. and you're still not back from work. Like today, I'm coming out to speak. I only inform my team that, hey, I'm out for speaking, but only telling them to speak. They try to find me, but it's not to ask for permission. So it's
You're going to stay over at night.
sorry?
You're going to sleep at that company, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of engineer work that works around the clock. I saw some engineer that sleep in the office, but it's their choice to do so.
I wonder how many hours per day that you work at Google in average.
Actually, a lot. So like I said, the expectation is very high. The goal that I need to achieve is extremely high versus other company that I work. So I work quite a lot. I go to work around 8:30 because I'm very hungry, so I wanted to go to breakfast at work.
You're not going to what you're doing for breakfast.
So I go to breakfast at work. I start around 9. I go home around maybe 7, but that's my choice too. There's a lot of people that leave at 5 o'clock. There's a lot of people that leave at 6, 7, 8, so it's up to them. have the cafe. So at a certain time, I walk to the cafe with my groups and just sit there, have coffee. In the afternoon, we have a snack time at around 3:30. So I will go to the kitchen, sit there for half an hour to have my afternoon snack. And then we have a pool table. So on Friday, probably like 5 o'clock, we and our friends like play some pool for another hours. So I think like there's a lot of play in between as well.
For 5 years ago, there was a concept of work at home, and now there is a new saying that many companies like IBM, and so many technology try to revise it back, that call it employee back to the office. What about Google? Has Google ever implemented kind of work at home, or if you don't want to go to the office, play and work at home rather than come to the office? Is there any problem? Or?
So let me say it this way, Google philosophy, to be honest, they are okay with the work from home policy, but they are not encouraging it, and there's a reason why. So basically, Google thinks that ideas coming from collaboration, and if you not see your employee face to face, you're not going to exchange idea, you're not going to build relationship, you're not going to come up with amazing idea. That's why they make the environment at work easy for you to be. So to be honest, like someday I wake up a little bit tired, I wanted to work from home. But for me, actually going to work is a little bit easier because I don't need to think about any meals. So I go to work and like there's breakfast, there's lunch. So I go to work for as my choice. I think that's like I don't want to call it trick, but I think it's environment that Google creates to make you want to come to work and meet with your employee. However, it's very, very flexible and it's very understanding in the sense that if you really want to work from home, no one's going to say no. If you have, especially if you have, like, I'm pregnant right now, and then if you're tired, I see my friends who like in months 7, 8, they work from home for 2 months. Didn't come to work at all. That's no problem at all. So it's basically more like no problems if you want to work at home, but we wanted to encourage you.
One question from the audience. Why do you serve dinner?
Yes, I think like we discussed a lot about dinner. I think when you serve dinner, one of the issues is like people would think that you expect people to stay late and like have dinner at work. So they only serve food at 4 o'clock. So it's more like a snack, but it's a big snack that if you want to make it a dinner, you can. But if you start having dinner, it's more like, is it more like forcing people to stay in office all the time, not going back to having a dinner with your family? So I think we decided to not serve dinner.
Something related to the original question, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I heard that Google's abandoned the KPI system, but you're using the OKR, objective key result, instead of just the normal typical key performance indicators. So the goals that you mentioned about are the objectives, right? The OKR.
So we call it OKR for real, so it's like objective key result, but it's still very number oriented.
So instead of calling KPI, you call it
We call it
OKR. Any other question from the room? Okay, so on behalf of the organizer, I'd like to invite from Google to come and share. And I think we learn a lot, and all of us want to work at Google. So it can still apply, right? There's no age limit, I think, right? Okay, thank you very much.